Good morning. Apple is down big after reporting great earnings, and the market is going down with it. We're going to dive into the earnings, the charts, so stay tuned. First off, I'm going to head to the chart, and I hate to say it, but the market mover indicator did tell me to sell Apple about 5 or 6 weeks ago, and this was at the 220 level, and this would have saved a lot of people a lot of pain if they could see this indicator. So I'm giving this indicator away to people who retweet my pinned tweet on Twitter. Check it out. But further news is Apple is dipping down on the daily, and it's going below the Bollinger Bands, and it's heading south. And I think the next level we can see Apple consolidate at is that 200 195 level. So we have some more pain ahead in Apple, in my opinion, and this was a tight range we traded at previously, and now we just broke through it pretty aggressively today off earnings. So I don't think Apple is going to turn around and rally through this. I do think Apple is going to head south for the next week or two. And then we're going to see where the market is, because basically everything is still overvalued relatively, and we need to back off from that, consolidate and correct, and then maybe the market has great earnings in December or January, and then we can head to the next bull market, or we can see where the market's going to go. So as I dive into that first paragraph on the financial report that Apple just released yesterday, I see Apple reported $62 billion, huge 20% increase. Relatively, compared to the other FANG stocks, 20% is on the low end. I hate to say that 20% is not impressive, but unfortunately, 30-40% is what I've been seeing with a lot of the big FANG stocks and these other companies reporting. So the net income, or the earnings per share, was up 41%. And that is where the money is made. I think that's the more impressive part. They're giving back more to their investor, even if they had less sales or whatever. At the end of the day, the investor is still making more money. More money is going into the company. They have more cash. So I look at that and I like that. I think that's a good thing. The scary part is this last sentence is that international sales accounted for 61% of the revenue that quarter. So the international sales, there's a lot of heat going on with trade war stuff, and we don't know where we stand with a lot of the products being sold to certain countries. So if their international sales are 61% of the revenue, that scares me a little bit. So you have to do your research and make sure the iPhone is not being affected, the iPad, before you get totally nervous and sell your stock. But I would very much look into this if I was an investor to see how they're going to be affected by the trade war stuff. And the big thing we're also watching is service revenue, because all these big companies, Amazon, Netflix, Apple, they're all getting into service revenue streams, because at the end of the day, this is what's going to pay them recurringly every year. Despite iPhone sales slipping, services are going to be able to prop the company up. So this is Apple Music. This is the App Store. This is all they offer in terms of services to the customer through their products. So this is going to increase, and this is their plan to increase this throughout the next couple of years. I'm impressed to see this jump 27% this quarter. And if that can keep jumping, that's going to be a big enough number where we're going to actually care about that in our earnings, and it's going to have a bigger impact on the net income and the earnings per share. So some highlights this quarter from Tim Cook is that they shipped their 2 billionth iOS device, and this is the 10th anniversary of the App Store, and it achieved the strongest revenue and earnings in Apple's history. So this is not a surprise. Most of the companies reporting this month have hit marks they've never hit before, and they've hit revenue they've never hit before. So that leads me to the question that, is this peak earnings? Is this the best earnings we're going to see for a while? And that is a valid question, honestly. So comment below if you think that's true. Comment below with some arguments. I'd love to hear it. But the coolest thing as well is that they also paid investors $23 billion in dividends, and repurchases of shares that quarter. So repurchasing the shares makes the investor have more stock in the company. Not more stock, but they have more ownership. So they're giving the investor more ownership. They're giving the investor more money. This is a stock you want to be in. It's just unfortunate that people don't understand that. It's unfortunate it's getting sold off big today. So the guidance for next quarter is huge. We have $90 billion for the holiday season as the median number, with gross margins at 38%, which is massive. This is a number that shows that they have a huge competitive moat, and they've had this 30 to 40% gross margin range for a long time, and that's a great thing to have as a company. And they're also declaring a dividend, 73 cents, to anyone who owns the stock on November 12th. So November 15th, they're going to pay the dividend. So later that week, you could see people just playing the dividend game and selling the stock. That's something to watch out for as well. So despite the great news, the great numbers, the great guidance for the future, the company is still selling on the news that they're going to disregard unit sales and head to revenue from iPhones, because this could lead to, if unit sales decrease, it's going to be a negative thing on this financial statement. So if they can get rid of unit sales, there's going to be less negativity when Apple reports, because maybe they're expecting unit sales to drop over time. And unfortunately, that is very possible. That can happen. And for them to not be hurt by these drops, they can just report revenue. Their iPhones cost a lot more, so it's a better number to look at. But nobody's happy with the fact that they are not reporting unit sales anymore, and they see that as a hugely negative thing. So that's why the stock is selling today. And the last thing I want to go through is just briefly, I want to talk about the operation statement and just show you that they have not increased as much as some of the other companies, but they are increasing. They're paying their investors back heavily, and this is a great stock that cares about their investors, honestly. This 12 earnings per share brings their PE down to 16, which is a great deal, honestly. 16 is a very low number. It's achievable. And like I said, they have that dividend, so that's a safe stock to be in. If this market keeps turning, I love Apple as a long-term investment. So as long as iPhone sales stay relevant, their products keep coming out, I think this company is going to be here for a long time, paying their investor, making sure that they're taken care of. So that's all I got today. Let me know what you think. And like I said, this indicator is going to be given away if you retweet my pinned tweet. It did give me some great sell signals again, and it did give me the sell signal on the weekly, pretty large sell signal, and that would have saved you a lot of hurt for this company. And that's all I got. Market Moves signing off. Peace.